Hi guys, and welcome to a new video here in the Art of It. This is the first time that we film with this new background, so please let me know what you think, if I have to change anything. In today's video we are going to try for the very first time soft pastel. I never tried soft pastel before. I've been getting obsessed recently with oil pastel, and then my brain started to wonder what's the difference between oil pastel and soft pastel. How does it feel to actually use soft pastel instead of oil pastel? So I will do a proper comparison video in the future, but first I want to actually get confident with the soft pastel itself. If you saw my latest art haul video, will be linked down in the description box if you missed it. I bought this Faber-Castell 24 set of soft pastel. This is a mini set. What this means that they actually half stick, which is actually perfect for me because I can also like scrolling my pastel around from the side without have to break it myself. And I always feel a bit sad breaking it, but sometimes you really need a full half stick to roll around. So guys, if you ever been curious about soft pastel like have been, and you want to see what I create today, stay tuned until the end. I actually will work on 3 different paper to see how actually feels properly soft pastel, and if the different paper makes a difference on how they perform. Let's start. So let me show you how the box looks like inside. Here is the swatching here on the back, some information. This is, I think, the actual measurement of the stick. This is how big it actually is. Okay, ready. If you're interested in this set, will be linked down below. So it's double packaging. You have this one to slide, and then you have this box to just lift. Whoa! There is an information leaflet. Wow! And then you have a double protection. You have this little sponge that you usually find on top of pastels of any kind, because otherwise they will mess up your box. And then there is also this little paper right here, and these are the color that we have to work with today. As you see, I already filmed the video, I already made the artwork, and I'm doing the introduction later on. So that I can actually tell you a little bit more about with confidence. Those are the color, and as you can see, I probably use all of them. I think I used all of them, honestly. Yes, I did. I used all of them. So yeah, I'll bring you into the video and I'll tell you my experience and how it felt like to use soft pastel for the very first time. Obviously, the first thing I do is a swatch, because I never really hold a soft pastel in my hands. So I needed first to get confident with how holding the pastel felt actually like, because when you go and do a drawing and you're not even confident with the feeling in your hand, it's just you missing something. So I needed to feel confident with actually holding the stick in my hands, and of course check the color. As you can see, the color are extremely vibrant, and then I could not resist and just put my finger in it and see how they blend, and they blend very nicely. You can add a bit of color and then just put your finger in it and let it slide, and it feels wonderful. So I really knew at this point already that the colors are super vibrant. The first paper I decided to use is a simple sketching paper. It's just a drawing paper, nothing special, super flimsy and smooth, so very simple. So I went in and doing just a quick floral sketching. Actually I do 3 different sketching in one paper just to fill it up and see how I can do detail with the stick, how can I blend, how can I move it around. So I'm really just playing around and try different combination. One thing that I learned in here is that I can lay color one on top of each other, and this wonderful. That's what I did with the green leaves on the bottom. I laid different kind of green one on top of each other, and it's just work very well. And I will learn this more in the detail later on. Of course, I realized that my hands are super messy. Like, this is a very messy medium. With every single stick I hold, I then need to wipe my hands. But the way I solved this issue was just having a piece of wet cloth, just a scrap fabric next to me, and I will just scrub my hands on there, and issue solved. And then the second thing I also learned is that gain like very fine detail, it was extremely hard. Also blend with my hands on small drawing, it was hard because of course it will smudge all around. So at this point it came to my mind that I actually had a blending tool for oil pastel, and I started to use that and realized that that was very convenient, and if for small surface I should use a blending tool. I will give you up close of every single drawing in the end of the video, but here I decided to try to draw on watercolor paper. So this what I'm using is a watercolor paper, and I'm trying to replicate the image from a magazine of a bird. It's a very vibrant drawing, so I was curious if I could recreate the detail and the vibrancy, but because I was working on a bigger scale with a lot of details as well, it was going to feel different. And I noticed that using texture paper actually worked much better. I could get the paint to just go in there much easily. But one thing to notice is that it was hard to get the color to go inside the texture paper, but somehow it will give more vibrancy than just a flat paper. So I did prefer watercolor paper much more. And here on this image I did a lot of blending. I use also the stick from the side to light the base color. I did it with the yellow, and I'm doing with the green now for the surrounding, and this is my favorite one. But then I remember I had oil pastel paper, professional paper, so I decided to also try oil pastel paper, to use soft pastel. And I knew my baby was about to wake up, so I started doing, but I didn't get to film the entire process because my baby wake up and then I continue out of the camera. But what I can tell you is that soft pastel is a very messy medium. If you are sensitive to this issue, it definitely won't that be for you. But I loved it. I loved using soft pastel and I will do it again. I love how quick the medium is, how I can gain a different texture. I can sort of work on detail even if maybe not too precise, but I have a tool for that, and I love to be able to put my finger in it and just play around. A watercolor paper is, in my opinion, and for this experience, what I feel being the best, but I'm actually going to test it also on mixed media paper, and that is a video that is coming soon. So make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell to know when the video come out if you're curious about soft pastel on mixed media paper. But for right now, I think watercolor paper is the best. And yeah, I love the vibrancy of the color. The pigment, it's wow, it's something else, and you can really gain a really good piece of artwork out of it. And next time I will challenge myself even more, push myself even more to create a bigger artwork. But the bird that I create honestly was my favorite thing so far, and it didn't take long to create it. And I think it's just because you can work with this medium in a different way. You can just lie it down completely flat and scroll it around, and then use your finger to blend it, or you can just work with one side of the stick and gain a different view.